Hello, and welcome to another episode of Big Brother After Snark. I'm one half of your hosting combination. My name is KC, and as always, streaming live from our Rocky Mountain headquarters. Once again, hello, Lacey.
Hello.
How are you?
We'll say fine.
We'll say fine. That's a good thing to say. So, lots to discuss.
Lots to discuss.
Special eviction tonight.
And I don't know who's going. I know we're not talking about that yet, but
Right.
the best part of it.
We wanted to get things done Tuesday this week, which is usually the day we used to do them, but we wanted to get one in here before the special eviction episode. Do we know even if the house guests are aware yet?
Well, they would be aware now because it's actually not a live eviction. They were doing the eviction yesterday, so it's a taped eviction.
I see.
Mm-hmm.
So it might already be done now?
It's done. It was done yesterday.
Oh, the eviction already happened?
Yes, the eviction was going to be on Monday, and then they're showing us it tonight on an edited episode.
Gotcha. That completely went over my head.
And I think that tomorrow is a live eviction, which makes sense.
By the way, now that I'm actually sent this out to the blabbers, people can actually join. We're actually recording this on Blab today, so recording live, people could end up in a chat room and we can actually discuss with them, and then we'll be uploading it to YouTube later. Okay, so last week, what happened?
We left off with both twins on the block, and you said they were going to send Liz home and do the smart thing.
Yeah, I was wrong again. Why? Why did they do it?
I don't know. I think Vanessa came up with some pretty decent reasons for her game. Like, if Austin and Liz are broken up, then she becomes the biggest target, whereas if they're still there, maybe she's not the biggest target, or maybe she's tied.
Right.
So I think that was what kept Liz in the house.
I just don't get it. It makes no logical sense to me.
It's stupid.
Now, the other thing, though, is that if all they were thinking of was, okay, well, no, that doesn't make... No, I can't make it make any sense. I tried as hard as I could to make it make sense, and it doesn't make sense. But anyway, Julia got sent packing, and we started rolling eggs. And Vanessa was the best egg roller.
Yeah, I was so surprised she didn't throw that competition.
I kind of was too. I mean, I don't know. She must really... Well, she doesn't trust anybody, obviously. So, but yeah, Johnny Mac was so close to winning it, though. All she had to do was just drop one more egg.
Yeah, I don't necessarily think she would have been safe in throwing it. I think it's very likely she could have gone home if she had thrown it, but it's also very likely she goes home next week when she can't compete, so who knows?
Right. What'd you think of her nominations?
Oh my! Okay, watching Vanessa's HOH happen this week, I was really surprised when she flipped and decided to target Johnny Mac. First, her target was Austin.
Right.
Like, right away it was Austin. She came up with her reasons.
Of course.
Talked through it with everybody. And then she flipped to Johnny Mac, which was really fun to watch him not grovel. Like, she was calling people in one at a time, doing her interrogating.
I can't believe they all...
Get promises, swear on this, swear on that.
Yeah. Why did they put up with that?
And then, yeah, so then Johnny Mac was summoned to the Queen, and he was just laying back on the bed, and he's like, okay,
yeah.
You want to put me up, you know?
Oh, because you got to do reverse psychology with her.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, honestly, he might have her figured out better than anybody, because it really did work. But yeah, I've never seen a house full of so many people so willing to just be like, all right, you have to tell me everything. Okay, and then they just start telling everything. It's like, When will this reign of terror be over?
It's a very unique climate in the house this season. There's several things they've been doing all season that we've never really seen before, that they're acting like it's normal, like this is how you play the game, this is how you have to play the game. It's very odd.
Right. So, and are we gonna get to see the veto tonight? The veto competition, I guess we're gonna have to. They haven't showed it yet. Oh, getting ahead of myself. What did you think of the Grandes who hate America and Americans? How great was that 10 minutes of my life that I will never get back?
Okay, that whole episode was the worst episode in Big Brother history. That was a terrible episode.
It might have been, yeah.
And I can tell you with 100% assurance, and I've thought through this in detail. If I was in the Big Brother house toward the end of the game, you've been in there like 90 days, like 3 months of your life, been trapped in this house. You win a luxury competition. So you know, something kind of fun, you know, they're usually never that big of a deal, but something kind of fun is going to happen. Probably going to get to go on an outing.
Right.
I would be a little worried it was going to be a sports thing, but I'd still be excited to leave the house.
Right.
Frankie Grande comes through the door and tells me he's going to take me to an Ariana Grande concert.
Who hates Americans.
One of two things would happen. In all sincerity, I would either burst into hysterical sobs of disappointment, or I would start laughing hysterically, and I would think it was a bad joke. I would not. It's like the Pandora's box where you're stuck in the room with Jesse while the rest of the house gets a party or something.
Right.
It's like, it's a booby prize.
Right.
What if Johnny Mac had won the luxury competition? Can you imagine his face?
I know. Or Austin. Can you imagine? That would have been awesome if Austin had got the luxury comp. It would have been hilarious. Or the luxury comp, the luxury prize. But yeah, that was just absolutely terrible. It couldn't be over soon enough. And why CBS is I don't know who their agents are. But they obviously have ties with CBS, very strong ties.
Yeah, I don't get it either, but I think it was pretty obvious that they had to have paid for this. Like,
yeah,
the Grande Empire had to have paid CBS because they even got a little perfume commercial into it. So
right.
That's just even more embarrassing.
Well, and the funny thing is, didn't it go pretty much unadvertised by CBS? Like there wasn't any kind of build up. Like, oh, if you'll tune in next week, you can see the Grande family on, and it's like they know. Hello, person in the chat room. It's like they know there's nothing to be gained by advertising this at all. Yeah, complete waste of, like I said, 10 minutes of my life. I will never get back.
That's another indicator that the Grandes must have paid for it. The fact that CBS didn't even advertise it, so it obviously wasn't going to help their ratings.
Right. So, where are you sitting now on your final four? I'll give you the forum to brag right now.
Week yet.
All right, fine. Go back if you want to go back.
So Steve and Johnny Mac went on the block, and watching, I got the live feeds. The free 1 week trial of the live feed, so I was able to see some extended scenes this week of Vanessa interacting with Steve, which I had not ever seen before. I'd only ever seen little edited clips or read summaries. So now that I've seen extended scenes of the way that Steve and Vanessa interact, I am sorry to say that I have developed a deep contempt for Steve.
Well, at least you're sorry. Why? What's wrong with Steve? What's he doing to offend you?
The sniveling, groveling, bum kissing.
Right.
It's very much like when you watch a movie, like a superhero movie or some kind of movie like that, the villain's sidekick the bumbling, groveling sidekick. That
you were right when you said contempt. Is, like,
moving around. I'm sorry, what?
I said you were right when you said contempt.
Yes! Well, that's what it's like. Vanessa's the villain, and Steve is the villain's sidekick, and he's just there to build her up, give her information, and beg her for mercy, and watching it is really gross. It's just gross. I mean, I already had contempt for Vanessa on a personal level, because she's gross, and now both.
Well, I'm very sorry you don't like Steve anymore. I would still like to see him end up in the final two. Just because out of who's left, you know?
My ideal final two right now would be Steve and Johnny Mac.
Yeah.
With Johnny Mac winning, although I think it could be possible for Steve to beat him. It depends on how they handle the final arguments.
I still just don't see Johnny Mac finding a way to beat anybody, just based on who the jury is and what we know the jury said about different people.
You think what? Based on what we know of the jury?
I just don't know who Johnny Mac could beat in the final two, which is unfortunate.
Oh.
Like,
well, okay, here's the thing. We saw a side of Johnny Mac this week. He's on the block. He wins veto, saves himself.
Right.
Amazing. I was at work, like, I had my iPad down in my bag, and I'd bend over and, push refresh.
Right.
No news. Refresh. No news. Refresh. And it had a picture of Johnny Mac with a V. Oh, my goodness.
I'm not going to lie. When I learned from you, you're the one who told me as soon as you found out, and I did a little happy dance right there in the living room. So...
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was because he was gone. I mean, he was gone.
Oh,
that was amazing. So yes. He saves himself with the veto, and then he proceeds to work Vanessa. Now, we have not seen anyone yet work Vanessa. Possible exception of Austin, but in a different way, because he knows to lower himself to the lowest of the low and beg mercy and save himself.
No one's head should be higher than Vanessa's trucker cap.
He beat her at her own game.
Yeah, well, I mean, let's not get ahead of ourselves. He didn't beat her at anything yet, but yeah, he's definitely played his cards right. No pun intended.
Well, we'll know more when we see the episode, but when he's talking to her, he is telling her it was the way he did it. His subtlety was fantastic, because he didn't just go into her and say, you know what, I've decided I don't even like Steve. Let's just get rid of Steve. He was so subtle about it in making her think it's her idea to keep Steve and evict Austin, and he's trying to do this in order to secure Steve staying. And at first when I was watching, he was being so good and so subtle that I was really believing him. I was like, oh my gosh, he wants to get rid of Steve. He's crazy. He's stupid. He's an idiot. I still love him, but he's terrible at this game. Then he talks to Steve later, continuing the subtlety, and he's like, Steve, because Steve was down there manipulating Skittles like Vanessa likes to do, like that helps you with the game somehow. And Johnny Mac comes down and looks at the Skittles, and he's like, you should be upstairs right now convincing Vanessa to convince me to keep you. And Steve's like, repeat that? So Johnny was explaining to him, Vanessa needs to think it's her idea, otherwise she's more likely to flip it, because it has to be her to vote that decides it, so I want her to be convincing me to keep you. Right.
He might be a true diabolical super genius.
If I had to put my money on it, I would actually think that Austin was going to go tonight.
Well, that's what I would think too, and that's why I'm just going to have happy opposite day. Because so far, everything I think that's going to happen isn't going to happen.
Yeah.
Everything I think should happen doesn't happen, so it's got to be that Steve's leaving. I'll just hope that I'm wrong again. Yes, the eviction did happen yesterday, and we're going to watch. It won't be a live eviction. So
Okay, so this is the week where the power of veto matters the most. Winning HOH basically just means you're safe. The nominations mean almost nothing, and POV is everything. So who do we hope wins HOH and POV?
well, obviously, I want Johnny Mac. Well, I don't know. I would rather have Johnny Mac win the HOH just because I don't want to have to then stress out about whether or not he's going to be the one who doesn't win the POV. Fingers crossed that Judas is on his way to the Malibu mansion. Yes, we are with you there. What about you? I mean, would you rather just what are you wanting to see happen? I'm done with the stress. That's why I just give the HOH to Johnny Mac.
I would like to see Steve win HOH.
Okay.
And Johnny Mac decide to send Vanessa packing.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's assuming that Steve's still in the house. You're ready for Vanessa to go? I mean, I'm ready for Vanessa to go, but the showmance needs to be split up. I think that's she should have gone when Shelley did. Yeah, well, they realize that now. They made a mistake. Yeah, I still think that it's more important to split up the showmance now.
So did you see the food fight between Liz and Austin?
The food fight between... No, I read a brief little snip about it. Lacey, you're just an egg.
It's worth watching.
Can you see Lacey now? C.S. Stone Stilopid... No.
It's okay. I'm better heard and not seen.
You're seeing the money half, so that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Stolpe.
Mm-hmm.
Stolpe. Okay, so what's the deal with the food fight? What did I miss?
So it was really... It's just a fun scene to watch. Johnny Mac was there as an innocent bystander with occasional humorous additions. Like, apparently, Austin had made a marinated chicken. Apparently, it wasn't in the shape of a heart. Liz made some comment about the marinade not being her favorite. And so Austin started to get upset. And it was just snowballing. And Liz, they were both pretty much keeping it playful, but Austin was honestly a little hurt. Yeah. So he kept bringing it back to the chicken and the comment about the chicken. And
well, he should have made it in the shape of a heart.
Right? He finally picked up some vegetables off his plate and threw them at her. And they went mostly like on her chest and a little bit on her face. And Johnny was like, "You have vegetables on your chest and your face." And then he and Steve are both like, high five. But anyway, the fight went on, and they threw food at each other a little bit, and a lot of back and forth, and then they wound up getting honestly mad a little bit, and I don't know, it's fun to watch.
Nice. James is going to be upset that he missed out on that. That would have been right up his alley.
Mm-hmm.
After he threw the gumdrops. So, all right, so what happens next? Is next week, is Sunday the last episode then? Or do we have basically 2 weeks to go?
The last episode is next week, and I think the last episode is next Wednesday. They're going to do episode Tuesday, Wednesday, Sunday, and then I think it's Wednesday's the finale, I think. Wednesday's
the finale?
I think so.
That makes a little bit more math sense. Back to the chat here for just a section. Just a second. The prediction we did a little while ago, actually, for the HOH comp tonight. I think they're going to vote out Steve just because I don't want them to, and it would be the stupid thing to do, and so that would go along with the theme of the last month of the show. So I think they're going to vote out Steve, and I hope that I'm wrong. And Lacey thinks that Austin is going to get sent packing. So anyway,
that's not the HOH comp. That's the eviction, silly pants.
Oh, HOH comp. I'm sorry. Prediction for HOH comp. Johnny Mac wins.
Yeah, I mean, we don't know who's gonna still be in the house. I say if they keep Austin, I think Austin's due for a win. I think Austin will win HOH.
It could be. I think it should be a trivia comp, shouldn't it? Because they did. They've pretty much.
They've been studying, and yeah, I think it is supposed to be days.
Because the egg comp was more of a like an endurance type thing. Days, yeah,
I think
that
it's
makes
days.
sense. That makes sense. This would be about the right time.
Okay, well, if it's days, then yeah, Austin's not winning. If it's days, then either Vanessa or Steve is going to win.
Yeah, probably. I don't know. Johnny Mac might be.
Oh wait, Vanessa can't compete. Vanessa can't compete.
Yeah.
Oh, if it's days, that's awesome because Vanessa can't compete, and I think she beats anybody in that.
Liz would
So
be. Liz would be
Steve's-
pretty good.
You
days.
think? Well,
yeah,
so if Steve's still in the house, Steve's going to win that.
probably. Which is fine. I'm fine with a Steve HOH.
So if Vanessa does keep Austin, it would be so beautiful to watch those two evict her next because she would so deserve that.
If what to evicts who?
If Vanessa keeps Austin,
Oh,
it would be so fun
that
to watch
Austin and Liz.
Listen.
That would be a full week's full of just entertainment, just watching that drama. If the showman puts Vanessa out of the house.
Did you see the clip of where Vanessa was doing the Skittles thing, and Steve was like asking if she would tell him what the Skittles meant, and then he would, and then she was like, "No, don't look at my Skittles, don't look at my candy." She's like, "You don't want to irritate me while I'm in power." And then she tried to cover them, and then he went to get up and move away from the table, and he bumped the table. And they were all, like, perfectly lined up and color-coded, and they go...
Did she go all psycho on him or something?
I was even a little scared. I was
scared. Death by Skittle. Poor Steve. Alright. We're going to have to shut this thing down. He messed up her chapstick, her tipstack, her chapstick. Uh-oh. That would be a cardinal sin for me. I'm a chapstick addict.
Chipstack, not chapstick.
I thought that was a typo. What is a chipstack?
No, like poker?
Oh, poker chips. I'm picturing like Doritos, so I'm like, well, that's a typo. I know. Okay. So we are out of time, but I'm digging this blab thing. I figured out where we were going wrong, by the way. Hey. Let's not get personal here.
On my bro there, girl.
I was just compared to Steve in the chat. The reason why I keep sort of giving a running commentary on what's going on over here in the chat, by the way, for the people that are in the chat, is because I'm doing a very small screen recording that's going to be uploaded to our YouTube channel. So most of the people who actually watch this are going to have no idea what went on in the chat. Okay.
Yeah.
So, are we going to try to get, like, maybe 2 more of these in before the actual finale? And then I'm assuming one after the finale, and then I also have to work on a blooper reel. So we might have 4 more total uploads to the YouTube channel. So everybody in the chat and everybody watching, don't forget to check out Big Brother After Snark on YouTube. Follow us on the Twitter. And hashtag BBAfterSnark. Did you have anything else you wanted to add before we shut this down?
Nope, I'm continuing to love this season, and I hope it doesn't disappoint me.
I love the season. I'll agree with you there. I don't think, at this point, the finale can't really be a disappointment unless Johnny Mac doesn't win America's Favorite, and I think he's a shoo-in. As long as that happens, I'm going to be happy with this season.
Okay.
But they got to split up the showmans. That being said, thank you for watching, everybody.